What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Conquering the Markets time. Glad to be here with you all and looking forward to this session today. As I look across on the right, a couple of things going on. First of all, let's set the stage. Let's get that operational awareness around us. We got two big things going on, a few big things going on. This morning, number one, we have the ECB going ahead and extending their QE program by just $500 billion. No big deal. What's money? It's just, as Elon Musk said yesterday, it's just a digit in a database. What's the difference over here? The euro is bid on that because they just was no dovish surprise. That's what was expected. You got oil over here. I'm looking on my right over here. I'm looking at what's up over here. And you see we got a sea of red so far this morning. A follow through on yesterday. Nasdaq's down almost 1%. That's right, David. Thank you. That's the second one for sure. We got yes, David. We got the Brexit. Looks like it's headed towards a no deal. It looks like the UK and the EU are going to have to just part ways. And whether or not that's good or bad for either country, that doesn't matter. It was the will of the people. They voted. Would it take 3 years to get the will of the people? Either which way, it is the will of the people, right? And not only that, we're seeing the market so far selling off the pound on those news over here. Pound's down pretty substantially across the board. It's down 1% versus the dollar. Notice with the pound getting pretty much smacked around, what's the DXY doing? The DXY is still down on the day over here. It is close to unchanged. It is down. Actually, as I look at the chart over here, look how it came back into that trend line. Look over there. It held that line again. Remember, below that line, below this horizontal 90.83, that's where we'll be looking to attack and further extension down. What else do we got going on? We're going to be looking at oil. CPI, right, came in higher than expected, but QE is deflationary. Let me go get my paper hat here, put this on and start telling you all it's deflationary. And this is what, listen, I've been saying from the beginning, it is what it is, right? And it's only going to obviously increase whether you look 1 year, 2 years, and especially 3 years from now. They printed 20% of the supply of dollars last year. That's continuing next year. Listen, what else do we got going on this morning? We got the Australian dollar really big today. Really, really nice. We're going to take a look all across the markets today. We're going to start here with the indexes, though. That's right. That's right. That's right. What's up, John? Yes, that's the other thing, Gary. Thank you for bringing that to our attention over here. We had U.S. unemployment claims today. More stimulus can't be far behind. Or, listen, I'm just going to, before I get going here, call it as it is. There's no excuse that there has not been more stimulus as people out there are suffering. They're suffering because of lockdowns. They're suffering because of a virus. The government is out there doing whatever they're doing, but people need money, right? People need money to survive, to feed themselves. It's atrocious. Australian dollar, Japanese yen is coming right into a little bit of resistance today. We'll talk about that. Let's keep going, right? Better stay with my Bitcoin crown, right? I'm gonna get a crown of Bitcoin, or we'll get one out of gold just for Peter Schiff to be like, yeah, gold does have a little bit of use. By the way, I'm so sorry to hear about Croatia. Croatia is such a beautiful country. Dubrovnik is very special. You probably have been. Maybe you haven't. It's extraordinarily special. And if you ever do go out there, or the next time you do go out there, make sure that you take the 3-hour ride over to Medjugorje. It's the most special place on earth. All right. Here we go. Let's keep going over here. S&P 500, we see the market so far down. I wanted to bring this up for you really quick. This is going back over here to 1993. This is if you went ahead and you bought the close of the U.S. equity markets and then you sold at the open, right? Buy on the close, sell at the open, up 800%. Or if you buy at the open and sell at the close during the U.S. session, you're down 10%. Look at this. The reason I bring this up today is because the overnight session today was down. Look over here as the market sold off in late February into late March. This was flipped on its head as it is during all market corrections. Is that a sign right over there that we're going to be seeing a little bit of a further correction? Listen, I don't know. We do have the Brexit. I think I said last night that to me, like, and going into yesterday, I felt like that the whole Supreme Court case was a market risk that the market wasn't paying attention to and would have to quickly price in if there was a surprise. Well, I think that the Brexit is also something right now that is moving up on the ladder there. That is definitely something the market needs to figure out. And how the market's going to figure that all out, I have no idea. It seems to me if we look at currencies and that's our strength and that's what we'll do, it seems to me that the pound is going to be sold, right? So we're not going to try to catch a falling knife, but we will. I personally believe ultimately, even if the pound comes off a cent or more, that ultimately a hard exit is the best thing for the UK. But we'll see. I don't know. Price at the end of the day is, wow. That's very interesting over there, GT. Just letting us know that since 1993, it's only 2020 that did not work. Facebook under pressure, that's what's causing this tech. That's what's causing this this down move on tech as the Nasdaq continues to lead to the downside. Let's look at what's going on technically here, so we can get into all the charts. We have to do. Can you? No, Gino, that's not my forte there. I have to make this a solid session, so I'm gonna just push the comments off for a little bit so I can focus fully on the charts, because we do have a live training session directly after this live stream. Let me go ahead and start with the S&P 500. I'm going to start with the indexes over here. We're going to work our way down. What I want to say over here is that so far on the S&P 500, there's been no technical damage yet. Okay, so be aware. We're seeing a minor correction. I used the word sell-off yesterday in the YouTube video. People are like, "It's not a sell-off." Well, yeah, it's not a sell-off. Of course, it's just down. It was just down 1% yesterday, but the markets are retracing here, and whether or not this is the start of something bigger or not, I don't know. As the markets were rising right over here, I'm like, this looks a little bit risky right over here, right on Monday. So here we are. Nothing technical has been broken. We're coming into a little bit of local support right over here at 36.44. If we trade below that this session, right, things are going to start getting a little worse. At that point, what can we look for down over here? Look over here. I don't know why I don't have a support level over here. 35.47 is a big level. Let's put that in. All right, 35.47, 35.46 over here. Let's draw that in over there. That's a big level. And if we lose this one over here, right? If we lose, let's say right around 36.34 right here in this session, it looks like that could be challenged over there in the sessions ahead, and then we'll have to see what happens down over there. But right now, we have no technical damage. Same thing on the Russell. There has been no technical damage done yet. Everything still looks pretty bullish over here. What about the Dow? Same thing, right? You could see, we know that if we break below this line of support, then we should be testing down over here at 28,865, but we're still maintaining that bullish structure so far. All right, what about the Nasdaq? That's leading on the downside over here. We were saying watch this line of support over here. This was resistance, broken, became support. Said if we break that, watch out, we broke it. You can see the Nasdaq is breaking down below the support of its channel over here. While the other indexes have not yet done that, all three of them, they're maintaining above the last. The Nasdaq is leading the way down. All right, you can see over here. So what does that mean for the Nasdaq? What are we looking at over here? Where's the next big support? Let's see, a couple of things that we want to look for over here. A horizontal support I'm going to look for first. That's all the way down here at 11,810. I want to extend this line over, right? Because that should be support as well. This is a pretty big line over here. This trend line provided big resistance and then resistance again. That has not yet been tested. Let's see what happens if we trade down to here. What about extending these trend lines over here? I have not done that ever since we started consolidating into this triangle pattern over here, right? Ever since we started consolidating into that triangle pattern pre-election, I stopped drawing those lines. Is it time to extend those over here? Is that line over here going to provide a little bit of support? Well, it's already there and extended. We'll just watch that. That's all. What else we got going over there? We got a few people in here this morning. Anyone who's here this morning, so happy to be here with you. Thanks for being here. I know it doesn't take much for you to go ahead and hit that like button, but it really does support me and help the channel. So thank you for that. Anyone who's, feels like it's worth their time to be here, anyone who is appreciative of my time sharing it with you, please go ahead and smash that like button and help support us over there. Yep. And yeah, and if you want to stay in here and smash that down like button, go ahead and do that as well. It's still a free world, and I'm not shocked by the free world. A lot of people these days are. A lot of people can't take it, but I don't care what you do. Freedom, all about it. So over here we got what? We got the DXY is still tracking this trend line over here, and below it we are bearish. I like Brad's work over here. Just step back for a second, look at the daily time frame over here. You can see this channel we're working within. Why this is interesting, follow this trend line over here, the bottom of the channel, okay? That's coming in where, right? Right now that's coming in around, I'm just going to call it 87. All right, let's look over here on my 3-day for 1 second. Look, we got over here 88.39. It's interesting. I want to find that 87 over there. That's a little bit lower. That's coming in the support down over here. All right, I'm going to stick with that line over here, the 88.40, but I'm just going to keep this on my computer, Brad's chart over here. Actually, I should even bookmark that just in case I get a restart and something happens. I like this overview of the dollar and my awareness, and it also leads me to believe, although I know that if we break above here, this trend line over there, that we are not what? We're not like overly bearish anymore, because right now we're very bearish, breaking down below this blue box over here of consolidation, starting the next leg down. Right now we have this healthy little bit of rise over here. This is a bear flag developing right now. It's a very clear bear flag developing right now. Notice how I don't put the trend lines anymore on the upside and downside. Thank you, Andreas, brother. Thanks for that, brother. Thanks for letting me know that. I appreciate that very much. Look, this is what I have the bottom line over here, because if we break down, that's the continuation over there. Everyone knows we're watching that horizontal support. Look, this line over here, this makes me not overly bearish. This makes me neutral, right? This makes me neutral because we would have to, this is big resistance over here at 92.20 over there. Look over here, though, this is that line over there. If we break that other one, there it is, 92.20, same exact thing. Breaking outside this trend line over here, that would set us off bullish. And then I'll put on my paper hat, and then I'll be like, yeah, give me a milkshake. It's time to be a dollar bull. It's not as if I'm a dollar bear. You all remember who with me as we started this channel. I was uber bullish in the dollar coming into this year at the start of the channel. You all remember? You all remember throughout this nonsense, I kept us bullish on the dollar. I gave the lines that we needed to watch out for. They held. So, I'm not married to a position. I'm not married to a position. Would I ever exit Bitcoin? Am I gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna sell Bitcoin at the top of this bull market phase, right? So what's going on with WTI this morning over here? Look, this is what we were setting up yesterday. You could see over here the retest and then the resumption out. It looks good over here. You are coming into a bit of resistance right over there, right over the last local high. Do you tighten up that position? Is it too close? Those are questions you need to ask yourself. I honestly don't have the answer to that, right? So what else are we looking at over there as far as targets, though? And trying to get it up over there. It's all the way up here. You can see this is pretty good resistance to start tracking. It's just below $50 on oil. Once we get there, I feel like oil is overpriced. And that might be a good place to look for a short. Maybe we'll start getting pretty with the charts and try to line something up. But just keep in mind the one signal that Jordan has been tracking, what I think is the most important signal over here, is the amount of global liquidity. We're talking next year, 2021, $315 billion a month of QE coming out of the G10. That's significant over there. Will we have further stimulus? I don't know. Yes, we're going to have further stimulus. I don't know the degree. I don't know if we're going to see like some bazookas fired. By the way, don't be happy about that stimulus. Every time that you see that stimulus coming, just do understand that means something to you. That means that your children are being further indebted, enslaved, and also that you're going to have higher taxes. So anyway, that's life. In 20th, your dollar went to 125, and the dollar weakening is typical coming out of recession. So is the current dollar weakness really a sign that dollar makes sure it's not true? No, the dollar, the dollar milkshake's a great theory, and it happened over here, right? to catching it. This is the dollar milk. This is a shortage of US dollars in the system. This is the dollar milkshake playing out. It happened right over here. Santiago was right. Brent Johnson, Santiago, he was right. Here's where he was dead wrong. After the Fed increased their balance sheet by $4.1 trillion, increasing the dollar supply was increased by 20%. And technically you get this big breakdown. You can't stay long dollars. Worse, you can't be telling everyone you should be long dollars because the milkshakes taste great and blah 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 blah. That's wrong, right? You got to follow what's going on. Will it play out again? And then will he be like, yeah, look, I was right. Yeah, but that might not happen for a long time. That might not happen for a long time, or it might not happen at all because they might make this whole transition over to this central bank digital tokens currency land over here. And the dollar might never regain the damage that's being done, right? So it's not that the theory was wrong. The theory played out perfectly over here. You're wrong. You're Peter Schiff. You could be used in the same sentence as Peter Schiff, a gold shill, if you keep shilling your macro view over here when you're wrong. That's the idea. If we break out, I just told you, if we break out over here to the upside, we'll become dollar bulls, and we'll be happy about it, right? But I'm not going to keep you all on the wrong side to protect the narrative for that long. That's the difference, right? There we go. So what else are we looking at over here? We got gold. What's gold doing? Let's check in over here. So gold is coming into resistance now. Look at this and just look at it quickly. It doesn't take any more of a time than that, but it is important to look at. By the way, gold is slightly up. It's up a hair. Right? And the dollar is down a hair. So today they finally have gotten back to their little bit of correlation. But look what happened after we broke down, right? There's the trend line. We broke below it. We're coming up now and we're testing that resistance, a resumption down. Very bearish price action for the dollar. If that happens, if we get the resumption down, that's very bad price action. Also watch up into here though. We could rise up into this resistance over here at 1855 and also back into that trend line. So there needs to be a lot of repair right now, technically on a swing trader's time frame for the gold before it gets interesting again. What about silver? Silver looks okay. Silver it's consolidating over here. It's consolidating below 24.32. Silver to look bad would need to be breaking 23.30 at this point. It's holding up. Gets back above 24.32 over here. Confirms that into support. Maybe that will be worth our attention over there, right? That's what I'm all about. The vanilla milkshakes are the best, right? Sometimes a strawberry. I'll take a strawberry sometimes. Right, let's go. What's going on with Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin looks like, by the way, that it is. So I've mentioned the Santa Claus rally prior to saying the markets looked risky. I mentioned the Santa Claus rally. I said, listen, this is the time of year normally we enter towards the Santa Claus rally. And look, I'm not trying to say this time's different. There's just something in my gut. Because the markets look technically beautiful, there's just something in my gut that's saying something's not right and they're risky. So yeah, Santa Claus, Saint Nick. Woo! Over here, what do we got? Bitcoin is coming down to looks like this is first of all very healthy price action. When I say healthy, like this was an enormous move, right? It was like a 90% move. Higher than a 90% move happening in a few months. And then since Bitcoin has consolidated. So that's, especially over here, this is all super, super healthy and positive. But I don't know which way Bitcoin is going to go from over here. And I have a very clear idea what happens next. It is the breakout of this. The breakout of this, it's not a given. Like, do not bet the farm, right? If we break out, that we just continue up and make new highs. Or if we break down, we're going to blow out through this support and then test, 13,800. I wish it was that simple, but it is that simple. Meaning we know that trading is all about managing your risk. It's all about managing your risk. How do you manage your risk? Well, if we break down over here, right, and we get, near term short-sided over here, am I saying to you right now, you should sell Bitcoin? Everyone knows I don't think you should sell Bitcoin in a bull market, right? But nevertheless, we're looking for further weakness. The next level we're looking at, and by the way, where's your stop loss? You have a stop loss right above there, right? If you break down over here. because then you know you're wrong. If this breaks down and then comes back up, all right, then I'm managing my risk. Now, this is the first area of support we'll be watching down over here. Is that down a little bit lower? It appears that line, that same clone line, might be down a little bit lower like that, because you can see that that's what the market's paying attention to. That's what the market's paying attention to. You're right. These are guidelines. I'm trying to go back 1 second with you. I'm on the 8 hour though. Why do I have my line over there? Let's focus on this one area right over here. Yeah, that's very clear. The reason I have that current line over there is because it's right over there, that area. And then I felt like, oh, there's a close right there. That was where the market's paying attention to, right? The market is actually right there, paying attention. Let me zoom in really quick. I'm trying to get like a better zoom in there with you. That seems where the market is. Like I had it up there a little bit higher. It looks like the market is paying attention a little bit lower, right? There you go. Here we go. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna tighten that up because we might break down. And if we break down further, I want to be aware. That's all. What about on the upside? If we break out to the upside, just this little triangle we're in, and it looks like this could be happening anytime between now and by the end of the week or into the weekend. If we break out over here to the upside, of course, we have this little bit of clearance over there. I think Heath this morning showed that he's got this little line over there. This is a nice one. Heath, I'm taking your line right there because it should be here, right? So because why? Why am I stealing Heath's line right over here? Because if we break out above this little triangle right over here that I'm focused in on right here, if we break out over here, well, you still got some resistance to clear. Actually, you got 2 bit of resistance to clear, right? Above there, then it looks like that we could be testing and taking out those new all-time highs. I think, what do I know? I think CTM, by CTM, I mean all of us, Alan, Brandon, Heath, me, together, provide the best Bitcoin analysis there is, period. Chainlink. Let's check it out over here. Yeah, I mean, it's not just Chainlink. I think it's everyone right now. I don't like the angle of that. That line is pretty important. That's just the clone line right there of that. We're trading below it. That doesn't look good. I think if you're trading Chainlink right now, you're looking to get above 1325, right? You're looking to get above 1325 because if we see Bitcoin break down out of the little thing that we just looked at over there, what are we looking at? We're looking at Chainlink probably and most likely testing around the $10 area, maybe even below it. So I would wait for the momentum to be in your favor, not against you. And right now it's against you. So just wait for things to improve, right? Because again, if Bitcoin does break down over here, right, you could see further pressure on the alts, no question about it. What about Ethereum over here? This is as clear as day as well. We're going to go ahead and add that same Heath line we just added over there, right over here. And that gives you a really clear indication of what's next on Ethereum. Watch Bitcoin, watch Ethereum right now. Whether they break out to the upside or downside, then you could trade your alts around that. It's the same thing we do on the indexes over there. That's all. Where do my long-term look? I apologize because people who are following the channel every day, they know, and people who don't. And it's not like we go over it every day. You see over here, this line over here, this trend line over here, this lower one, I call it the prime trend line over here, right? And I don't think we ever broke below that. By the way, this has been in here ever since December 2019. I don't think we broke below that if it was not for the dollar crisis, which we did. Great time to accumulate further Bitcoin. And then this line is cloned. This line is cloned up. You don't think that was a great time to accumulate further Bitcoin? What an idiot. All right, so here we go. So this line is cloned over here, and you could see over here that just simply cloned line. You could just right-click it and then clone it. That cloned line then always provides this resistance on the upside. Here you go. Again, just touching these areas over there. And those are our guidelines. There's more up here. They're light, but I will make them darker as we get to them because those are what's going to provide us our future little bit of guidance over there. That's all. So, boom, boom. What else are we looking at? We want to keep going over here when we want to get into FX. Let's start with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, because we're coming into some resistance right now over here. You could see it. It's clear. I'm going to be talking a little about, the question came up, someone wanted to talk about in the training session about what do you think looking back on 2020 and seeing what your good trades were, what your better trades were. What could you have told going into those trades, right? So I'm not going to give up the answer right now, but just the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, you're into a little bit of resistance right now. All right. I see the Australian dollar pairs continue to be on the rise over here, and the pound obviously is under pressure. Let's look at some pound pairs together. Let's look at the pound pairs together. I don't have no idea where the Ethereum price peaks at all, Daniel, but if you go to the Bitcoin playlist, one of the top 3 videos talks about how to exit your altcoins during this bull market. All right, let's see. All right, let's go. Let me just check in right now as the markets are opening up. It is 9:30 in the morning over in New York. And we're going to check out the pound in 1 second. Of course, Thomas, absolutely. We'll be checking out the pound in 1 second. We see the Nasdaq at its lows over here, S&P, everything else exactly where we looked at it. Let's look at some pound pairs right now as they're coming off. Wow. I'm going to look at this on the 12-hour time frame with you all for 1 second. This is the pound Australian dollar breaking down out of the consolidation. Look, we talk about that like 5% of the time, a breakout or a breakout down will get away from you without a chance for entry. That's a pretty low percentage, right? It's happening right here, right, on the Brexit, development over here. I've been saying stay away, right? I've been saying stay away. Here we go. This is important. You can see where it's holding right here at the support so far. Obviously, what's next over there? Is there going to be a last minute deal? Listen, I am not an expert. I have no idea. We have a lot. How many people we have in here today? We have 1,300 people. Thanks for being over here. We got a lot of thumbs up. Thanks for the support, everyone. For real. Thanks for the support. We're only 30 minutes in with 500 likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Anyway, I want to look at these pound pairs before we get going. Is Bitcoin going to crash in January? Look, Bitcoin might have a pullback in January, right? Yeah, trade talk. Keith putting out regular content all the time. Brandon also. It's getting better and better. We love it. All right, no deal, no incentive for economy. I'm not in it, Peter. I'm not up to speed on what's going on here in the UK and the EU with the negotiations and what the outcome will be. I do see that people, or I saw this morning that someone who is like uber anti-Boris Johnson and was very much against Brexit has basically come to terms and been like, it's happening now. So it is what it is. So I'm leaning towards it looks like we're going to exit with a hard exit, right? So that could change. So I don't know, but that could change. And they could have a last minute deal. So I think the best way to trade this is after we find out what happened. After we find out what happened, and I hope there's a huge sell-off on the pound, because that's going to set up a really good position trade to go long on the pound when the market and price action say so, right? But nevertheless, you can see right now we're into some support over here. From here, 1 or 2 things could happen. We could bounce, come back up, and test this area of broken support to see that it holds as resistance. If something like that happens on the 8-hour, that might set up a nice swing trade because it's a big level. It's a big level. It's the bottom of our blue box. It's the bottom of our consolidation. If we get that opportunity, even though it's a hot trade, it doesn't matter. You're still able to migrate your risk, right? We could still have our risk in. It's FX. It's so liquid. Your stop is going to be respected outside of the weekend. You all know that. That's a possible trade to watch out for if we get a bounce off this support into here. We might break right through this support over here like a hot knife. And at that point, that might also set up a short. You're only looking for shorts right now as you've broken outside of this whole area over here right now. Is it something to watch for? Maybe. Maybe. You all know I tend to be quite conservative. So funny, as I know I am the most risk. I'm so risk adverse, but at the same time, I have the most I'm the most apt to take on the most risk, probably out of everyone listening. So over here, what's going on? We're breaking now after I thought we broke out to the upside over here during this area. I then moved up this trend line over here to the outside. It does look like now we're now making a breakdown over here to the downside, and you can see that horizontal support is being breached, a close below that, and then a resumption down. Does that open up some further possibility over there? Would you take that trade or the pound Australian dollar trade we just looked at? You know, those are the questions you want to be asking yourself. Let's look at what's going on the pound Japanese yen. We all know that the yen is super weak, yet stronger than the pound. I probably, if I was looking to play this trade, if I'm looking like just go, and it's dangerous to set your own narratives as far as a hard exit is going to be near term negative for the pound and then ultimately bullish. That's dangerous because then you're influencing your own opinion. And if you don't think you influence your own opinion, you have no bias, then you're a step behind. We all have bias, right? And the whole idea is to fight your own bias. So I probably would not be looking to attack the pound with the Japanese yen because the Japanese yen is weak. I don't want to attack weakness with weakness. Nope. But at the same time, I know about those pretty negative interest rates on the yen. And at the time to attack to the upside, that might be against the Japanese yen, right? That might be the like a carry trade that I might want to look into, right? Even with the negative interest rates on the pound, it's going to be higher than the negative interest rates on the Japanese yen. No, I do not, Eduardo. I only look at the 8-hour. I'm on the 12-hour right now, looking at these charts on the pound right now, is because I'm not looking for trades. I'm looking for an overview of what's going on with the pound right now. I just have some more dollars to BlockFi today. Should I buy Ethereum? You should definitely not do either, unless you know what to do. Do not do it. Look at the pound New Zealand dollar, a hard rejection over there. That's probably the one trade that maybe we all should have been watching a little bit closer. And there we go. Pound US dollar. Let's take a look at that. So let's take a look at this. What happens on the upside? I know I said I would be interested in perhaps considering the Japanese yen if I'm looking to go long the pound at some point in 2021. What about the US dollar? Are we going to see further dollar weakness in 2021? If we break above this trend line over here, right? You all know, listen, horizontal support and resistance definitely carry more weight. They're more important. I love multi-year trend line breaks. Here's one over here, getting above this area that might set up a long, but there's no way that I'm going to, attack the pound with the dollar because the dollar is weak right now. It makes no sense for me to attack something weak with weakness. So you'd be looking at, in my opinion, if you're looking to play against the pound, it's either the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, or the Canadian dollar in that order. Kips is not here. Nope. Nickel's bid. Nickel is bid. Up 3.3%. Palladium also. Look at that. This is a kind of important. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, everyone. There's the last entry over here, but you're coming into that resistance right now, right? What do you do over there, right? You have to take a little bit off. And by the way, this is a position trade on nickel, right? So the rest you're just leaving on to ride. What happens if we get to the top of that channel? I think then at that point you take a lot more off. Let me go ahead and draw that, but that's going to be broken as well. I could already do with my eye, clone that and see that we have a next level right up there. Let's throw that in right now. One really quick. Beautiful to see though. Kips nickel over here. Those don't hit. You see what hits though? Let me show you what I just did so you see what I just did. I tried to go to this top line over here, and then I look to the right, and that's nowhere close. So I go down to where we peaked out on these closes over here, and then that lines up perfectly, right? So that's what we're looking at over here on nickel, coming into an area of resistance over there. Interesting move on nickel. Interesting move today on palladium, getting back in towards what looked like that channel, that rising channel over there. And it could be setting up an entry. It's in resistance though, but it's not just nickel is in resistance right now. Palladium is also into that resistance, and a rejection here. That would bring up a short on palladium after putting in a lower swing high over there. breaking down outside the channel, retest, rejection would open up a short trade on palladium. Get back into the channel right now, clear above this horizontal little bit of resistance. And again, the bullish structure has been repaired. And then we got platinum over here making a leg up above this area over here. This chart should be on a different time frame. And look at that. You can see there the breakout, the retest. You got the resistance over here broken, became support, held as support again, and then the resumption off during the last 24 hours. So it all looks nice. We looked at gold very quickly, Alan, and a very good look at that. Pull back on the live stream until you see gold in the middle of the chart, and do watch that. It's a very good look at gold. Silver's looking a little bit better. Gold is looking a little worse. What would happen to the US dollar if China devalued their yuan, say 20%? I don't know. I mean, it's a weird question. Is China looking to devalue their yuan by 20%? I was under the impression that the Chinese are looking to increase adoption of the yuan, that they want to make it a more stable currency so that ultimately oil could be traded in yuan, right? So do I think that the Chinese are looking to devalue the yuan by 20%? I don't think so. I don't know what would happen. That's a thought experiment, but do you think that's happening? Is that something that we should be considered right now? All right, let's go. Apple. So, by the way, it's not clean. Hold on, I want to just get a good look at this. I can't stand the gaps, right? I can't stand the gaps in these equities over here. But it looks like we closed down below, right? This was the triangle setup. This is where we looked at going long. Now you're closing below. I would be exiting the trade over here if you're in this trade. I would exit this trade just out of caution. Of course, the possibility remains that we could trade back above here and resume out, but you could always get long again if things look better technically. But right now, that's a negative event. Let's see. Maybe the Nasdaq closes in the green today, and if that happens, Apple's obviously going to be resuming out of over here. That will set up another opportunity for you to get re-long Apple, because outside of this breakout of this triangle, retest, resumption, that's very healthy, and you do want to be long there. But right now, it is looking, it's back within the consolidation pattern. It's not where I want to be. How will the election results affect the U.S. dollar currency pairs? I don't know. I don't know. According to Steve, the devalue has to happen. He's been on Real Vision. Yeah, that's great. So he's wrong. Not only is he wrong, everyone else who's like holding on to the dollar bull is also wrong. So I don't care. Like, he's been on Real Vision, so he must know what he's talking about. He's wrong. And there's nothing else about it, right? Will he be right in the future? Yeah, there'll come a point when he's right again. But guess what? We'll have flipped dollar bulls ourselves. We'll have ridden the dot as far as this goes down. We have no idea, but we're on the right side of the trade, and he's on the wrong side of the trade. Whatever, he's wrong. Whether he's been on Real Vision or not, that doesn't matter. He's wrong. I haven't been on Real Vision. I'm raising my hand up high. I have not been on Real Vision. I don't know of another trader out there who's provided better analysis all year. What does that mean? That I'm not in the club? All right, whatever. I don't really care, right? And not only am I not in the club, I'll call out anyone in the club in a second, in a heartbeat, especially if they're leading people astray with like some fancy words and theories. I don't care. GBTC premium, I believe, will continue to be cut as other opportunities enter in over here. And I say other opportunities. We saw Bitwise launching a crypto index, and there will be others coming. Yeah, New Yorker. What's up? New York represent. That's right, Justin. Listen. We've Brad, by the way, Brad joined the course way back sometime last winter. He had never even traded before. He loved the course. He decided to build the website for us on his own for free, just to give back. And, then later he's talking about ways we could grow. I don't have any interest even growing from where we are. I love being with all of you. I love our community. This is where I am today, right? This is what I enjoy. It's all good. It's not about, I'm not going to make up certain narratives in order to attract people. I just want to know and live within the truth and live within this awesome environment. So what else are we looking at today? Let's look a little bit closer into FX. Let's see if there's any further opportunity. Right now in my brain, I'm setting up what's going on within the pound. We're getting to a point now where it looks like we're seeing what the resolution is going to be. And up until this point, it's only been guesses. Up until this point, it could have been a hard exit. It could have been a smooth exit, leaving with a deal, right? Which is better? I have no idea. But the market is showing its hand now. I'm trying to set up. In 2021, I could picture myself getting involved in a position trade on the pound, right? So that's what I'm setting up. Obviously, after the holidays, we'll be looking at that a lot further. All right. Alan, love you too. By the way, Alan, if you're not following Alan on Twitter, I think you should. And not only that, so what I'm seeing over here is I'm seeing what I'm seeing happening is a lot of people who are within our community are interacting a lot with each other now on Twitter. I love listening to and watching those conversations and being a part of them myself. Do follow others on Twitter within our community that we're speaking to and chatting with all day long over here in the mornings, right? And have fun bringing those conversations to the rest of the day. So anyway, could you please someone explain the more basics of TA? Just how it works kind of for beginners in a few sentences on every chart. Listen, technical analysis is basically trading is it's a psychological game. There's a reason that the same chart patterns have played out not only for 100 years, but for hundreds of years, going back all the way to when rice futures were traded in China, the first market. It's because it's all human psychology. And TA is just being able to just understand how these patterns play out throughout time over and over again in the markets. TA is giving yourself levels where you could maximize and minimize your risk. That's all it's about. TA is it's a huge edge in the market. I can't imagine trading in the markets without TA being the focal point of your analysis. And of course, the fundamentals are just as important. But listen, if you're interested, just take the course, right? TA is learning how to draw lines with crayons. Yeah, TA is absolutely a form of art. There's no question about it. It's not an exact science. It is absolutely a form of art. I don't think so. No, not at all. I don't think so. It's a different thing. So what else we got over here? The US dollar, Canadian dollar. Just let me jump back over here. I know we looked at this really hard yesterday as we were breaking below this lower trend line over there. I explained why in detail that was such a big deal. And then you could see we're resuming down off there very clean. There's not much else I could say, except anyone who took that trade, really well done. That's all. I give you kudos. That's a stupid word. Kudos, mate. But no, for real, good job. And I wish I would have had. That's all. US dollar, Mexican peso. Interesting to see the divergence over there with the US dollar, Canadian dollar falling and US dollar, Mexican peso rising. Not only that, look, pay attention to this is what's happening over here. I'm not a bottom picker. You all know that, right? I'm not a bottom picker. Look at that line over there. See, that's why I say it's art. You see where my eyes focused on? There's that support, broken. Now it's resistance. We're right at that line right now. Back above that horizontal. That's where Jordan exited his position trade, right? Are we going to see a reversal over there? I don't know. I don't like to pick bottoms, and I'd say like looking at the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar, this whole move has been reversed, right? This was the dollar milkshake. This is the dollar milkshake. It's a good theory. You just got to know when to let it go. That's all. And right now, well, let me come back on this. So there's no way I would look for the look. Even if I knew this was going to happen, by the way, like even if I knew this was like going to be a move straight up to this resistance over there at $20.90, I would not take it because it goes against what keeps me safe, and that's trying to pick bottoms. So the only thing that I would look to do is this. Delete that line. If we're rejected here, trade back below, resume off this, that sets up another short here. I'm going to just move that. No, I'm going to leave that line exactly where it is. If we trade back below that, resuming down, holding this area over there, that sets up a short. It's not a short I would take, but I'm looking at it right now over there. Craig, CTM. Yeah, it's a magical play. It's not magical. It's special. That's all. It's a very, 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 very special place, as is the 687 likes. That's a lot. Yes. Let's check it out. Let's move over to the dollar. Look at that. Beautiful call over there. Look at the dollar looking to break down outside of that. By the way, that was the top, the resistance of the channel. Look at this breaking down below there, getting below the support and closing down, or not closing. Obviously, this price bar has many hours to go before it closes, and you look for the daily to see whether you've closed below a support or resistance trend line, etc. But right now, we're breaking down. That's right. That's right. Or we should say nickel sharpens nickel in honor of Kips, right? Nickel sharpens nickel. Look at that also. Look at that move out of copper this morning over there. Right? You could just see everywhere the deflation taking foot. It's absolutely horrendous. Hold on, I need a hat. Let me put up. You could see the deflation, just QE is deflationary, right? And listen, tech is deflationary. Technology is uber deflationary. Technology is what is causing all this deflationary. QE is uber inflationary. M2, the banks aren't lending. Listen, banks are lending. Have you seen the housing market, by the way? Have you seen the housing market? It's exploding, right? People are getting mortgages. That's creating dollars. It's creating dollars at an extraordinary rate because of the fractional reserve system. It's at a factor of 9. There we go. Grit sharpens everything. Where are we at? Copper looking good. Seeing that deflation everywhere, including in the CPI print, as I'm seeing not only food and energy rising. What's food and energy? Who needs food? Who needs energy? I don't need to heat my house, right? But then you're looking at what? You take away everything else, and everything else is also rising. Is that trend going to continue, or is this the top here today? Think about it, right? Not impossible to pick a bot, right? Jordan, awesome insight. So listen, Paul Tudor Jones talks about the most money could be made on a turn, the turn of a trend. There's no question that's true. Paul Tudor Jones, by the way, as he tries to catch that turn in the trend, will take multiple positions and very small losses on all of them until he catches it and getting it right. He is an expert. And if you're not an expert, don't try to do it. Now, is it easy? It's not too difficult to pick a bottom or a top either. The thing is that one time you get it right and you get that good trade, that imprints something in your mind. What it imprints in your subconscious is that picking bottoms and tops is a good idea. And actually, it's the most expensive gambling habit there is in the markets. If you just remove that from your psyche, if you sit down with yourself and you say, Jordan, picking bottoms and tops prevents you from making money in the markets overall. Do not do that ever again. You're one step ahead than everyone else, right? Wow. I mean, that's good insight over there. That's good insight over there. Thank you for sharing that, Scar. So, by the way, when you talk about the rising price of oil, the winter is very mild so far. The winter that we're receiving 25% of over is very mild. The reason oil is rising right over here is for one reason and one reason only. It's because, you wait for it, is because QE is asset inflationary. Ever since the Fed started printing, I said that. I said you got to get long over here. That's why we rode stocks as far as we rode them. Has natural gas bottomed out? We looked at it yesterday, and what was interesting, it was that, right? It was at the bottom of that trend line over there. It broke. It held, retested, and is now resuming up. Is that the bottom? If I was like someone who liked to speculate in the markets and just take trades that I didn't know were high probability, but like wanted to trade for the rush of trading, I would be getting in that trade. But that's not how I got 6 kids, a wife. That's not how I support them. I can't do that. It's not for me. So Dylan, are you in the CTM training session today? Could you just write yes or no? That is crazy, Sam. That is crazy. That is crazy. As the DXY bottom, AJ, we just really sincerely talked about that we don't want to ever try to pick bottoms or tops. But just to give you a little bit of insight, AJ, right? The dollar, this is a big overview of the dollar. This is Brad's chart over here. I don't know if Brad's with us today or he's up there skiing. Well, I don't know. But either which way, you can see this channel that we're trading within, right? If we break out over here above 92.50, above this outer trend line over there, out of this channel that we're in, at that point, we're going to become bullish on the dollar. We know we have this huge level of resistance. We'll watch as we come into there. We'll tighten up the trade and we clear that. Then we're going to get some milkshakes going over there, right? There he is. Brad, we got your chart over here. Brad, this chart has become a staple. It's bookmarked. I love looking at this work you did over here. This channel gives us a very nice guide. We're going to keep it. We're using it. That's all. Did I find out whether or not I was looking to see if Dylan was going to be, Dylan was asking about profit target for the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. It just comes into the training session later, so I wanted to know if he was going to be in there later or not. So Dylan, do let me know before we look at a target. But we're into resistance right now, and just so you all know, I'm not taking profit, but I'll explain that later because we have about a few more minutes left. Let's just take a quick look around. We're seeing the SPY over here, the S&P, right? So far off its lows, and the Nasdaq also off its lows. So interesting. Does that mean that listen? We started the session off, and if you missed it, do watch the first 5 minutes where we talk about the indexes, right? And they still all have their bullish structure in place. Nevertheless, we got a huge risk. It's not only what's going on with the court, it's also what's going on now with Brexit, how the market is going to price all this stuff in and relax. I don't know. It's all near-term noise, though. It's all near-term noise. The signal is what's happening in 2021, and that is, I didn't see Wes's observation. Hold on. Wes, low interest. Fixed loans is a short on the dollar. Low interest rates, fixed loans is a short on the dollar. What was the other thing? Someone was asking about gold over here. Gold right now is after breaking down, right, below this support yesterday, 1856, crushing through 1848 and crushing through this trend line over here. It's now coming up for a retest, right? We're looking to see if gold is able to overtake not only 1855, but get back above this trend line over there. That's what gold needs to do to repair itself right now, right? But right now you can see this is coming for a retest. If this holds and is rejected off, or if 1848 or 1855 hold as resistance and are rejected, that's very bearish near term on gold. All right, everyone, we're going to call it a session. It was a little bit of fire today. Really liked it, only because I'm going to go ahead and prepare for the training session starting in a half hour. So I'll send the email out. I'll post that in the Telegram group so everyone getting the link at the time of the event. And we just did gold right now, Michael. Not in the session today. Sorry, 5 minutes behind. That's all good, Dylan. Dylan, as far as targets on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, right? So you're coming into resistance right now, right? Interesting to see a couple of things. The Australian dollar continues to be bid, even as the market sold off a little bit. There was a hiccup on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, but it's regained that and is up another percent today. You all know that I love playing these multi-year trend line breaks over there because they could lead to some big moves. I am holding this trade. I am looking and targeting much higher. When I say much higher, I mean like much higher. I don't know where the trade could go. I always feel lucky. I always feel lucky because, listen, I think if you got into this trade, a lot of people probably would have exited this trade already. That's not how I do it. I'm always looking to push trades. I'm going to get into it in the training session. I don't want to find the flow right now for that. Michael, there's a link in the right over here, and it says new to CTM. Watch that video. It'll give you a bit of an introduction to the course. There's not much else to say. If you think that I provide some value over here and you want to learn more, the course costs next to nothing, and I can't think of a more valuable resource. And the community is astonishing. So there we are. Everyone, let's get at some music today. Let's go over here. Is Apple breaking up? Nope, not much. Apple would have to confirm itself, right? Apple would have to confirm itself making higher highs over there. Even looking to take out that last swing high if you want to play conservative. Nothing wrong with that. Don't be in a rush. Wait for the right trade. Short and fiery. That's where we are. All right, everybody. Have a sip of matcha, a sip of espresso. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.